Togoland Liberation TV, echoing the call for self-determination.
Hello, thank you so much for having time for me. This is Togoland Liberation Channel, a program dedicated to the liberation of Western Togoland. Over the period, and as you have been following, we have been exposing the falsehood behind the 1956 plebiscite. That particular exercise which was imposed on us, but the world is made to believe that we decided to take part in that exercise and to decide our future. And today, we have our nationality being questioned by the day by elements within Ghana. This channel has exposed a lot of events to you for your education, for you to know what has happened in the past. Today, I bring to you the continuation or the part 2 of the most secret document. A document which was prepared and handed over to the Kwame Nkrumah and the CPP regime at the time to follow and to make sure that the verdict of 1956 is turned against our wish. A kind of a program which they need to follow to create that international understanding that we, the people of the land, have decided to be part of Gold Coast. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you know something. I want to take your mind back a little bit into history. That before France and Britain will invade our country, or before Germany will visit Togoland, when Britain signed the Bond of 1844 with the Fante chiefs, Britain had wanted our country, Togoland, to be added to the Gold Coast project. But our leaders at the time, our chiefs, has refused them. Our chiefs refused to join the Gold Coast project because they realized that the bond which Britain was talking about is nothing but a slavery bond. So all the attempt to make part of the Togoland join the Gold Coast project was rejected by our people. Even the wars that they brought to take away our people by force was fiercely rejected. Our people fought them back and they couldn't understand anything. So when the First World War broke out in the Far East Theater, the British governor in Gold Coast, thought it wise that this is a good opportunity to bring the troops down here to invade our country, and exactly that was done. So our country was invaded. We were not part of the war. We did not sign any agreement with France and Britain to fight. They just enter our country with no permission, kill our people, and divide our country. And when the League of Nations took over the divided Togoland, and after preparing documents over it as its territory and having given it back to them to nurture to independence, Britain now saw it as another opportunity. It's like a candy given to, it's like taking a candy from a child. So the opportunity is now presented officially for Britain to perpetuate the crime of genocide, to cement that particular crime on our people. So they've planned all activities to make sure that our country do not exist. So if you are anywhere listening to me, if you are anywhere watching me, and you think that there's a Ghana project you are protecting, my brothers and sisters, you are misleading yourself. If you're anybody in this land and you think that you are protecting a Ghana project, my brothers and sisters, you are misleading yourself. Let me remind you, you are misleading yourself, because there's nothing like Ghana project. What was there is abuse of fundamental human rights by France and Britain, imposition of a territory, of a nationality on another people, and that is genocide. Read the Genocide Act. Thank you so much. If you are new to this channel, my name is George Kobla Nyakpo. I represent the Homeland Cerebral Foundation and the Voice for Western Togoland. In the last episode, we looked into this document, the most secret document, the cover note which was handed over to Kwame Nkrumah and the CPP regime to implement against our nationality. And I'm sure you've watched the last episode to this. So, like I promised in the last episode of this particular document, I read to you the plans which was itemized. So we are on item 4. So I'm going to take this document from item 4, then take you down to some number. Then we call it a day as we prepare for another. So follow me as we look into this. Togwinyo, mama, dumagao, dumavio, meda kpena mi be gba ocho gba mi wa de kaplem. Le mia ko yaba nga yaji. Be mia de nuwo me. Nui tututu ta mi gbogbon be mia de nigba Togo nigba na xwa bloda. Nui o mi va ke do a, o de me le mia fiam. Ne na nye nyu de be na ma de ko aye mo jeje efimonu yo ho anigba la shi o ne va kpo de je siare. Ne nyame ye wo ha me nye fiafiu me nya nigba de me de fiware. Edore share o ga gbagba de share jege be ahoi pa nigba ta doma o me mi le ma kana mare la fiare enye fia nye dumeviare alo o da ore du ngo la fiare ye ne bui bere ya ye nye gaglasu ya to mo de share di azo el bobule adomi le fu pepe ya me mi le ke wa me pomo ela be Ghana for politician o bribe na mo ne hohom ta me jibe anigba na vode me jibe mana na nya be anigba ya nugbagbe ebia na hono amayo ne chachitre dem taneli ne be anya anyigba ko mohe nkwa o degeda azolia mareke mega ko be mejivago ne be ma vaji wa ke etetegeda ha na wa vaji ala be amayo ne fukpem la anyigba ji va se de gbe mia togbe yo no wu da anyigba ji mia amayo ne liegba mi fukpem are mi sugbo awo reka e wo reka nu nani na tandu ye me jiba anyigba na vo wa no do kwishio agbanle me nya wa ale me khlina nyi cho va ya me ji ga na mi la me na mi nya be gbanle ya pe nya gblomo le o gble video ado me be re o nla agbanle ko na Nkrumah be de zora agbanle pe dodo ji ko wa te mi fa anyigba re to agbanle pe me nya o de me le na mi ya ta me re kuku mi ga mi fa to na ele ye vugbe me na me se ye vugbo a yo ame yi ke ne se ye vugbe no ano haji mi anga mi apo wa no gbe agoma dem no ne mi ayiji mi awe plapla akpe. So I'm taking it from point 4 again. The document is the most secret, the future of Togoland and the United Kingdom trusteeship. Point 4 says that to obtain the emergence of the territory from the trusteeship system, the approval of the UN General Assembly will be required. There has been some suggestion that the northern section might be integrated with northern territories without further delay. It is extremely unlikely, however, that the UN would receive favorably a request for abrogation of the trusteeship agreement in respect of only part of the territory. When the time is propitious, the abrogation of the whole agreement should be secured. Follow me. As the result of the requests made by UN, His Majesty government would have, listen carefully, would have to make proposals for the future administration of the territory and show conclusively to UN that these proposals were, quote, appropriate to the particular circumstances, end of quote, of the territory and its peoples, and to the, pay attention here, quote, freely express wishes of the people's consent, end of quote. Now, as I read, pay attention to how many times I'm going to read this phrase in this document. Quote, the freely expressed wishes of the peoples of the people concerned, end of quote. Pay attention. 5. The views on what line this proposal should take held by the Gold Coast government and the political party on which it is based have already been made clear. The only feasible solution is that the territory should form a part of the self-governing Gold Coast. It is not thought that there would be any difficulty in demonstrating to the satisfaction of UN that this proposal is appropriate to the particular circumstances of the Togoland, providing, of course, that under the new constitutional arrangements, adequate or, better still, generous provision is made for the interests of Togoland to be represented. The problem lies in showing to the satisfaction of UN that the proposals are in accordance with the, quote, freely expressed wishes of the people concerned, end of quote. I take it again. Freely expressed wishes of the people concerned. Since this is the criterion which UN is compelled by its charter to apply. You following? 6. It is also necessary to consider how far the present wishes of the people coincided with the plans of the government and the CPP. The people of the northern section are already virtually unanimous in favor of integration into the Gold Coast, and doubts expressed by visiting mission are not supported by anybody of public opinion opposing the integration of this section in the northern territories. You see what the game plan? Let's go. 7. The CPP has already achieved a considerable measure of success in the non-Ewe areas of the southern section, that's the Jasikan district, but this gain has yet to be consolidated. Into brackets, much of the money for Antor's trip to UN came from this area. An effort should not be relaxed. This measure of success has, however, by no means been achieved in the remaining 2 districts in this section, which are principally inhabited by the Ewe. You understand? Now, if you read this particular point again, it will now check what Kwesi Pratt said about Antor, calling Antor secessionist leader. You understand? Antor is just protecting his territory, but today he's being labeled as a secessionist leader by someone who calls himself a historian. You see the double standard. You see the lack of knowledge, lack of appreciation of things because they have an agenda. Follow me. Point 8. In this district, opposition to the CPP's proposal is being experienced from 2 groups. First, there are the Ewe unificationists, whose main strength lies outside the territory, but who command a considerable measure of support in the whole district. This group is led by Silvanos Olympio and receives the support of the leading Keta families, which have extensive properties in Togoland under French administration, into bracket Lome, Parliament, and Atakpame. The Keta that you said it has been Gold Coast all along. Now they are scared about that territory because if they vote, their vote will speak volume. You see how your education has been. And in influence extending far beyond the confines of Keta, beyond. This group seeks unification of the Togoland first, and then possibly some sort of association with the Gold Coast thereafter. So if Keta has been Gold Coast all along, why are they now people from that area are talking about not joining Gold Coast but joining the Republic of Togo or Togo, East Togo. 9. Secondly, there is the Togoland Congress, which still enjoys powerful support in the Kpando district. This group keeps its followers by preying on the fears held by many Togolanders of domination of their territory by the Gold Coast. They already see Anglos and Pekis holding all the best jobs in Togoland, in commerce, in the civil service, and in the field of education. They are resentful of the lack of development. Into bracket, there's no tar road in Togoland, and suspicious that Togoland does not receive its fair share from the government, the Cocoa Marketing Board, and other statutory boards. Point 10, which is the final one for today. The problem before the government and the CPP is how to secure at worst the neutrality, at best the active support of these groups, and so bring the vast majority of the population of southern as well as northern Togoland to advocate the integration of the territory into the Gold Coast. So the last paragraph. A second aspect of this problem is how, when this has been achieved, to convince UN that this is the case. So this is the issue which has been hidden from you for some time. So if you are there saying that, oh, you are for Gold Coast, you are for this, you are supporting Ghana project. This country you are calling Ghana came to existence through genocide. How do you understand this? You love human rights, but your people who a stranger came to kill, invade their homes, and force their nationality out to another place, you are supporting a result of a criminal enterprise. You are supporting a result of a crime. So those who are calling that crime should be investigated, those who commit that crime, they should be brought to book. You say, oh, those people are bad people, but the criminals are good people because they create an enterprise for you that is helping you to be rich. You see, any of you that keep saying that you are Ghanaians and you are this, remember that you are supporting the act of genocide in Togoland. That's what you are doing. So think. If you are a proper human being, you must think. So this is how far I want us to look at these documents for today. In the next episode, we'll be looking at the solution to these problems that they are talking about. So it's really the answer proposed. So how are they going to make United Nations to believe that the people want to be part of Gold Coast? If you want to know, then join me in the next episode. The following episode, I'll walk you through that particular issue. Togyo, mama o dumevio dumegan. Abale mena minya na gbanle amanyawa onye enya drinyao. Dodo yo katan o wode mia denyigba nchi to emoji be yo awe be United Nations akwe ademe be miawo ntowe gblobede mia nye dumevio mi ma ganye mia de du comme to mia nye Gold Coast toware gbanle mama nyawa o de mele de gonami tanele nkude enyawo ma o gblɔ le afi aɖe be mia nɔvi yiwo ke ne le aŋlɔnyigba dzi keta kple pekif mɔwoa wo ma asi dam ɖe ɖoɖoa dzi be yewo anye Gold Coast tɔwo ke boŋua anyigba ne trɔ yi ɖe afi ke wòyia. Ta enu yi ta Plebiscite mewɔe le aŋlɔnyigba dzi oa enuawo nye yawo elabe Sylvanus Olympio kple ame abe Dr. Amato yi ke nye ketaviwo woƒe campaign woƒe nyawo le asi nye be ɖe amegbetɔ ɖeke menye na dumevi ye ŋutɔ ƒe dumevi wo gava kɔna ɖakavi ɖe akɔda ɖakavi ɖe agava da akɔ afia be nye dumevi o enuma enye tagbɔ kuku nya enye movi dzɔdzɔ ƒe nya ta yiwo ma akɔda nya ma mo ga do ɖe yiwo gbɔ kura o enui tɔ kura dzi yiwo le nye hã ɖe anyigba ne trɔ yi le afi ko tso va mi wa kpɔm ɖa ta ne le aŋlɔnyigba me gba ye ne gbɔgblɔm be aŋlɔnyigba enye Gold Coast nyigba ɖe Gold Coast ƒe anyigba me tɔ ɖeke magate ŋu ayi ɖe ava wɔ campaign be ɖe anyigba meganye Gold Coast ƒe anyigba o amewo nye Gold Coast tɔwo vɔ nu katã wo ga campaign ma wɔ fo nye danye enu ya ne tagbɔ kuku ƒe nyawo gbɔgblɔ na wo la eye wo hã ne le asi gbɔgblɔm la enye ŋu manyamanya ƒe nya la tɔgbenye gbalẽ ɖeke meli fifia be ɖe aŋlɔnyigba ɖe enye Gold Coast nyigba enu ya le fi ya nu ya me xlẽ na fifi le ne kpɔkpɔm le nye kɔmputa dzi fifia ɖe egbɔgblɔm be ɖe aŋlɔtɔwo le ɣe ma yawo gbe be awo anyigba ya ma nye Gold Coast ƒe anyigba o ke wo egbe dzidzimevi fi kawo ava kpɔ nya ma le tɔgbuiwo gbɔgblɔm be anyigba ya ma yi fi o wo egbe ne va nya ma gblɔm ta meɖekuku gã aɖe na mi edenyigba ma ɖeke mekɔna emiasi fianɛ o ne nya me ɖe le anyigba ya dzi ye ne bui na se be egbea ye kple Ghana ƒe politician no mi wɔ ɖeka ta enya gblɔ mi le be míaƒe anyigba ne vo le aboyo ya me ya tsatre ɖe ŋu ɖe fonye tɔgbenye anyigba wo yɔ ge manyi nɔ ge akpɔ teƒe o ekpɔ le ke ame yiwo ne tso ɖe anyigba ya ŋuti mega nye dukɔ o ekpɔ le ke anyigba he to na woe ame abe Kwame Nkrumah ne ekpɔ ku ye wòkue eku vevi ŋutɔŋutɔ be manɔ wo dedu me hafi aku hã nanɔ dzronyigba dzi nanɔ dzronyigba dzi dzikpekpe me anɔ vevesem adze dɔ avo adze ŋɔ hafi afu me ɖeke megatso ɖe míade nyigba ya ŋu nu yiwo ne dzɔ va ya ɖe no nye kpɔɖeŋu na o nye le anyigba ya dzia nuwo no nye kpɔɖeŋu na o mita kpɔ ge na míaƒe azɔli ya medzi ma na mianya me yawo katã ne le Ghana Police Service me yawo katã ne le Ghana Security kple tɔwo ma ɖe enye nyakpo menya ɖe biamo be eyiwo le mía nɔviwo va de game míele kɔto de megba eyi United Nations va rule ɖe nya ya dzi human rights tɔwo rule ɖe nya ya dzi ɖe nu katã wo mete wa implement rule na elabe wo vɔvɔm elabe wo nya be nugbegblẽwo yiwo le ta ame abe oku dze to ha ma ke gbɔgblɔm be yawo ye le me ye me sia me nya be ye tso ye se ɖe nya ya me ɖe nenye human rights lover ame yi ke nenye human rights ƒe dɔwɔla tututu ye wònye sewɔla tututu ɖe negblɔ na Ghana be ɖe ese yi ke United Nations de to le míaƒe nya ya me be womegakpɔm ale amewo ɖe no kɔ document ma ne akpɔ ɖa yi ɖe ho ƒe court ne nava bia dzedza yɔ attorney general na bie se be ɖe human rights ƒe communication wokɔ ɖo ɖi ɖe nu katã mete wa implement o hafi nava nɔ gbɔgblɔm be ɖe yatɔ míaƒe azɔli ya documentally nu katã mete wa implement o elabe United Nations akpɔ wo de dzesi be wo dze agɔ le míaƒe anyigba ya ƒe nya ya me ale ame yawo katã wo lea wo gblɔ na Ghana be mokpɔ mɔ ale amewo le nya ya me mi buna se be míaƒe anyigba United Nations tɔwo menya nugbegblẽ yiwo mi wɔa nugbegblẽ yi Nkrumah kple tɔwo ɖo be womenya wa wonya vɔ wo dzɔm be ewoa nua tɔwo wònye ta woe li do ge ne ku dzɔ ɖe ekutɔwoe fa avi hafi gotatɔ xɔnɛ na me ta wo dzɔm be ewo fia natso le zi dzi mɔlu kotokuvi ami kple 1000 Ghana 2000 ma kɔkɔm envelope me dem no le dzidzɔ kpɔm aɖe emui eva yina egbɔna yi ge ta megakpɔe be nenema ko anɔ míaƒe anyigba ya woati le to kakaka o tso ga me míakɔ dana ndc kava le asi na gba ŋgɔdodo aɖeke meli o oku dzeto be constituency ya fact ɖeka hã meli ya employ ɖeviwo katã galamsey gbedzi yim wole eye kuku ga kuku le galamsey gbe ma dzi ne dɔwɔɖi aɖeke mele ye ŋutɔ be constituency o kake eviawo tso be nu ya efu ɖe na yewo ogbe wɔɖeka be no yuwo eye woaku woku vɔɖe anyigba ya ɖe efe hegana me sia me yi ke vɔ dzi na anyigba ya ta egba mekɔ ya kɔ se ɖe afi ya ne Mawu ga na mi mɔnukpɔkpɔ bubu aɖe. Mega gbalẽa me nyawo dzi ge na mi tso point 11 esugbɔ ŋutɔ ɖoɖo yi wɔ ɖe miaƒe anyigba me esugbɔ ŋutɔ wo katã me ɖe ge na mi ɖeka ne miakpɔe ade dzesi anya be ɖe nu ya gblɔ mi la ɖe vevesese ƒe nya yewo nye. Ame ɖeke megagblɔ be division gblẽtɔ nu ma wo awɔ. A crime is a crime. There's no expiration date for crime. It's a crime, and unless it's corrected, it remains a crime. So what France and what Britain did in our country is a crime and will continue to remain a crime. No matter who you are, no matter the president, no matter your political stand, you cannot say anything and will be convinced. A crime is a crime. Thank you so much for having time for me. I'll see you again in the next episode as we unravel the falsehood behind the 1956 plebiscite. Thank you.
Togoland Liberation TV, echoing the call for self-determination.